like Miami. Miami, 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 Miami. It feel like Miami.
Welcome to the MHB Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. With me today, Coach Lou, Saucy Takes.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is?
What time is it, Lou?
We lighten the beam, baby.
Light the beam, light the takes.
Lighten the sign, baby.
Chad is like, turn on. If you're watching us on Twitch, you saw that I totally forgot to unmute myself, which meant that the entire intro song was muted. I then had to replay it. So there's that. So shout out to Twitch audience for making fun of me in chat saying that there's no sound. But we're here after a Heat win. Miami Heat 118, Detroit Pistons 110. Lou, the Heat saved themselves from total embarrassment and despair. Had they lost tonight, there's a very different conversation. But we're happy, baby. Jimmy had 28, stepped up, dunk, tuck your shit, Robinson. It's a good day.
Man, it
was almost not a good day.
Yeah, almost.
Kate Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. Listen, when Jaden Ivey went for a drive and lost the ball with no one near him, thank God they stink.
The gods were in our favor at that point.
Thank God. The basketball odds owed us a few, okay? It's been a minute. We deserve something.
Man, can we talk about fucking Fontecchio over there? Fucking lighting our shit up. Golly, man. Somebody get that guy. Get him far away. He needs to go back to the West. He needs to play us twice a year.
Free Fontecchio.
Free Fontecchio for real.
Free Fontecchio. One of the rare good moves that Detroit has done. But Lou, they play a team at home that, listen, I think any real Heat fan knew today was going to be a fucking dogfight. No one thought this was going to be an easy game. Everyone knew. We all knew the inevitable truth of what was going to transpire tonight. And Miami, listen, they came out and they played okay, and then they played like dog shit, and Jimmy became Jimmy, and Duncan hit a big shot, and they were able to kind of escape. Kind of a very them win, right? I don't think we can leave impressed with them, but I think, Lou, the fact that they just got out of there with the win when New York lost to Atlanta and Philly is losing to Brooklyn, that's just a huge feather in your cap, and you just take them. You take the W.
No, yeah. I felt like they were kind of coasting for a bit there, particularly in moments of like the whole game, if I'm being honest. But
they're not
coming out
to coast.
Yeah, just coming back out on top is always pretty. It's always good, always clean. But I believe that pushes us up almost a half a game out of the 4 seed. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, baby.
That's huge for them. I mean, listen, if they can get home court in the first round, I mean, there's a conversation to be had if you want Boston in round 2. You're gonna have to play them eventually. We're gonna have conversations whether 6 is more attractive than 4 and 5.
According to the Spo interview, he does not want anything to do with the plan anymore.
Oh no, nobody. I don't. Yeah.
You're talking about basically 6. The difference between 6 to 4 is what basically you're getting at.
Yeah. I mean 6. I mean, if you're 6, you get Milwaukee probably in round 1, Milwaukee or
Cleveland
both of which I think are series that if you're Miami, you don't want to see them in the first round, but I think you're pretty comfortable. Or you get a Knick team at 5 that might be coming at full strength in the first round. So it's a really interesting kind of dynamic that they have in the East.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. I believe there's like 20 more games left in the season, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 21.
Knicks are at 6 now, apparently.
Yikes!
No way, are they?
I'm gonna double check that. I believe that's true though.
Orlando's 4.
Yeah, Orlando's 4, and I think we're
5 right now. Miami's 5. So we're sorting the shuffling of the standings live on air. Bronx Joker donated some bits. He's on a 5-game stream streak. I didn't know Twitch had those analytics, and said, "Gee, he's a new Aloe model." Listen, I am a Jimmy Butler simp. I buy Jimmy Butler's coffee. I almost bought Jimmy Butler's branded electric kettle that I already had because I'm such a big face Jimmy Butler simp. And
There
Jimmy wears aloe. You know what? Fuck it. I wear aloe too. I worked out. I bought aloe yoga gear. I went to yoga yesterday, decked out in aloe. Listen. It is what it is. Athlete, influencer, product stuff works. It works on me.
It's Jimmy Butler, baby. Like, come on.
Bro. You just can't. Like, I just not gonna lie. That's how it goes. So, Lou, tonight they had an interesting kind of an interesting flow to the game, as you said, kind of with their coasting. But the fourth quarter struggled to find a 3-pointer, and a lot of them off rhythm. Terry took one falling to his right side. They kind of went through that phase that they go through where they just can't get real penetration. They can't force help. They got lucky on a few Pistons defensive possessions where like they blew a rotation and Jimmy got a dunk. But what are you seeing late offense? And is this something that are these bad habits gonna bite them in the ass against a good team? Because really they got away with it because Detroit made a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting because I believe some of the shots they were getting to was a little bit late in the clock, but they weren't like the worst looks. I know Terry took one that was very contested, and we had another one up. It was two threes that I remember very clearly that were like, ugh. Like I think the other one was a Caleb one with like no time left. But aside from that, like Duncan missed a couple good looks. Some were early in the shot clock. I'm cool with them. Duncan was lining them up the whole game, so let him take it with 17, 18 seconds on the shot clock off a dribble handoff where the big doesn't show. I'm cool with those. Just people were just kind of missing some shots. They were really hot for like the first 3 quarters. I believe they're like 6. At some point, they were 11 for 16 from 3, which was ridiculous to keep up at that pace. It wasn't the most fluid offensive game. I don't think it was a bad one though. I think
they scored 118, which is pretty good for them.
Yeah, I think the struggles came like just defensively and like rebounding the ball at times. But honestly, I thought they played like the offense was what, again, it is nothing to be like super excited about. This is a Pistons team, which I believe is like literally last in defense since like the All-Star break or something. So
I just think that was a little concerning that like when the game got a little tight, they against such a poor defense, they couldn't really do anything. Yeah, I mean, their defense, I mean, Jaden Ivey, I thought was creating a lot of problems off the dribble for them. Kind of continues a trend of young, speedy guards really just picking on them. No resistance. And again, it's hard when you're playing Thomas Bryant fourth quarter minutes too.
I don't think he was that bad today.
I actually don't. And I actually was going to say, I'm kind of ready just to give Thomas Bryant another go instead of Orlando.
Oh, first for sure. You're right on. Shout out to Keith Lee fans. But like, no, man, seriously, like Orlando Robinson was, how do I say this nicely? Head scratching to watch at times. Like some of the things he does, one good thing and like 3 bad things. And one thing where you're like, what were we looking at here, Orlando? So it was just kind of tough. I don't think Bryant was perfect by any means. I like that he took that 3, even though he bricked it. But what I was most impressed by was, first of all, they took him out of drop coverage. I fucking loved it. They said, Orlando, you're going to do what Kevin Love does because we're going to minimize how bad you look on defense. You're going to blitz screens. And he was doing a pretty decent job containing him. And then obviously the 2 blocks on Cade. Pretty decent stuff.
He won a jump ball, which I thought was big on another possession.
On Marcus Sasser. Guys, like...
you just need the effort, bro. You know what I mean? Like, fucking compete. Do something.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll give him, man. His attitude's always good. Locker room
That's what
guy.
you need, bro. You just need a guy that's going to get you through the cold winter months.
Yeah. And he great teammate. Great teammate is the best way we can describe Thomas Bryant. But today, solid defensively. Not one thing I was expecting to say.
Chat says, Torrey Miami says, Orlando can go back to getting 38 points in the G League. He's worse than Yurt was. I kind of agree.
Hey, so
What?
during the summer league, I don't want to say names, but people was getting hyped, man. And I was like, no, no, like, what are we watching? This is not translatable.
Schmeeth and Smolnik says, G, why is G obsessed with dressing like a cop? I am not dressed like a cop. Neutral tones are in. What is wrong with you?
It's a neutral tone.
This neutral tone. I'm not. No, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with my outfit. There's nothing wrong.
It does look undercover.
No, it doesn't, bro. And then like these are like little. I got some New Balance 550s. You know, beige white. They look nice. You know what I mean? This looks nice. I can't believe that I'm getting slandered for wearing, a comfy sweater and my favorite hat. What the fuck, bro? Can't catch a fucking break.
If you're listening to this on podcast, go on Twitch and just read the comments.
Just go on YouTube.
This man alive.
Let's go on YouTube. Go on Twitch. JG says, you look so undercover, G. Smitha says, Officer Foreskin.
Officer Foreskin.
Skinny says, dick hats are hot right now. What do you mean?
Somebody said New Balances.
That New Balances are, dude, come on. No, you can't do that. New Balances are in again.
Yeah.
You can't do that. No.
They're cool. They're cool. For sure.
Don't make fun of, you can't. No, we can't do that to New Balances.
No, New Balances are decent shoes. Decent shoes. They're definitely not they're not like Converse bad. Remember when Converse made basketball shoes? Dwayne Wade was the only person who got Converse to sell shoes.
The 550s are solid. The fashion influencers are liking the New Balances.
There you go, baby.
That's all I'm saying. I'm following the trends, god damn it.
Talk about following trends. Can we talk about Jimmy following his own trend? Deciding with 21 seconds that he was such a troll to keep his 3-point streak alive that he was pulling that bitch from 3 regardless of what happened. Just Jimmy, man.
Chat says whatever I say, officer.
What
are you saying? I'm so sorry.
No, man. Jimmy pulling that 3 over 2 people.
I got so mad.
Why?
Because I was like, bro, why are you taking that?
Because you know why he took it, right? His streak was about to end.
Oh, is that why?
That's literally why he took it. You gotta love peak troll Jimmy Butler.
He's like, this is on the line.
He's like, I'm not going there. That's why when he made it, the whole bench, all like the coaches were happy. Like everybody was smiling.
He's D-Wade. I'm not going out like this.
Yeah, he wasn't letting it happen. It was just fun. A good game. And
a good last 5 minutes.
Yeah, for Jimmy Butler.
Lou, I'm going to tell you something. So I'm like kind of I'm putting my kitchen back together, right? As I'm watching the game before I post game. And I'm thinking, this show is gonna fucking suck. I go, we're gonna have to. I don't know how we're gonna talk about this because I just don't want to do a show where they lose to Detroit. And Jimmy, fucking turn on the Jets, bro. When that guy goes to the basket and when he is physical, there's few people that can really keep up with him. And I understand that that's not a kind of play style that you can play for 82. It's just really not reasonable. And at some point, the Magic's going to run out. Until then,
we move.
Dominated that late game. Let's talk about Bam. I got a text from my friend. I don't know if I want to out him, but for what he said. He asked me, why is Bam not good anymore?
Hot take.
He means on offense.
I mean, I don't know. It's who Bam is. He's not a high efficiency player.
I love that you said I don't know because we don't have to pretend that we know. Because I told him I don't know either. I think that he has a little bit. I think he's locked in a little bit more on defense, and I don't think he's the kind of player that can have that responsibility on defense and then do a bunch on offense.
No, he's been through a lot these last couple games without Kevin Love. It feels like every time he sits, like he's not fully resting. He's just like on the edge of his seat waiting for Spo to be like, yeah, 30 seconds was enough.
Bro,
like, go back in.
I never thought that because we used to say they have a backup center problem.
Yeah.
Never thought we'd be like we have a third string center problem.
Yeah, no, thank you, Kevin Love, for sure. But yeah, it just feels like, I don't know, man. Bam, first of all, I don't want to say like this is a tough matchup for him because Duren physically is very similar to Bam. Like just in like build type, the way they move, like athlete wise, like they're very similar, like player profiles. So that was kind of tough. But honestly, sometimes he just kind of settles too much. And we see it time and time again. I don't know, just a tough game for him. He started out like 3 for 10 and he went 5 for his next 7. So he kind of picked it up from there. Bam is who he is, guys. He's an elite defender who can sometimes go off on offense and get you about 20.
I think that's fine though, by the way.
Yeah, and it's okay. Like,
and he's not like a bad offensive player. I just think that like needing him to be a primary scorer is just not.
Yeah,
it's just not an effective use of his skill set, especially when that man can't go to the bench and they keep a lead. It's bad.
Yeah, he's irreplaceable, point blank, period. And it's not because of the offense. It's definitely because of everything else that he does. The offense is a bonus, but it's not like what you count on him to be irreplaceable. You know what? He's irreplaceable. What he did to Cade Cunningham in that fourth quarter. That's why he's irreplaceable. Cade Cunningham ISO'd him after Bam. Duran got him a couple times in the first half, and then Cade comes out here, tries to ISO Bam, and Bam didn't even have to jump to block him. That's how good his feet movement is. And people still aren't on the Bam Depoy bandwagon. What is going on? I'm calling out every 71 people in this goddamn. We got to be better as Heat fans. We got to start spamming Bam Defensive Player of the Year everywhere. I need people to hate us for this, please, guys.
Lou, I don't understand why they're +5 post All-Star break with Bam on net rating. They're +5. They're +9 with him off.
Man, Kevin Love fixes a lot of issues, G.
I just don't know what's going on there. Kevin Love is.
Do you want me to? Yeah. All right.
Kevin Love has a plus. The Heat have a +22 net rating when Kevin Love is on the floor post All-Star break.
So G, I got an idea. Actually, I got a theory as to why we're better.
So good with Love on the floor. He's
elite.
Crazy.
He's the spacing he brings offensively is elite. But I think the thing with Bam is those numbers are kind of skewed because Bam had to guard. He literally played every single minute that Jokic played, and Jokic was like +16 against us. That was the difference. I think that's pretty much damn near the difference in those numbers. It is what it is. But Love's got it. We need Love, baby.
Ryan Spravera says, "G looks like the headset. Looks like that headset communicates with other employees at Old Navy."
That's where G got his aloe hat from. The clearance.
I got.
It's a dope hat.
I got the sweater at Old Navy.
I love Old Navy.
I love Old Navy, bro.
It's funny that they called you out on it, though.
Yeah, Old Navy's affordable, bro. You know what I mean? This is a nice, comfortable hoodie.
The best hoodies definitely come from Old Navy. I will stand by that.
Old Navy hoodies go. Tori says I look like a retired NFL coach.
G looks like Mike McDaniels in the offseason.
Compare me to a winner, please. Excuse me. I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Lou, the last guy I want to talk about. Dolphins fans are gonna fucking kill me. Aren't people mad about their offseason or something? I don't know. People are complaining. I'm getting word that the Celtics conceded a 32-6 run in the fourth quarter. My God.
Thanks to D Wade. We've heard that again. We've heard that before, guys. It's just Wade haunts him.
Hey, at least it doesn't only happen to us. I'm just so sick of all the talk about Boston. And by the way, there were a lot of little newsbreakers today. Patty Mills signed with the Heat. There was LeBron statue talk because of Stephen A. Smith. There was Jeff Teague on Udonis's podcast saying that he would take Harden over Wade. We will discuss that all tomorrow with Alex Toledo of 5 on the Floor. So stay tuned for that. Do a little emergency podcast while Lou and I close out this segment of the show. But Lou, Duncan Robinson hit him with the white boy Jordan in the first quarter. The fake turnaround to reverse layup.
It's scary. I think
who is he?
He's the third best player on this team.
I'm glad that you said that.
Sometimes number 2. Sometimes number 1. Depends on the day.
He's the third best player on this team. I'm there with you. I think Hero is more talented. I think Duncan's just the third best player.
Hero probably more talented. I won't disagree there. But Duncan is more he's just easier to fit into your offense. Like, he's so easy to play with. Such an easy guy. Like shit's getting tough. Just give it to Duncan. Either he's going to create something out of nothing. And defensively, he got another block today. I feel like
say that again.
What? He creates something out of nothing?
Who creates something out of nothing?
Duncan.
That's crazy that we're saying something like that.
Crazy. It's almost like the like his game has just rounded out. He used to be like, when you used to look at like the pie chart, like not the pie charts, like, you know, like those like little hexagon,
the little skill charts.
Yeah. The skill. He used to be all 3-point shooting and like very little everything else. And then it's funny because during the seasons, the 3-point shooting kept coming down, but like everything else started getting a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And now the 3-point shooting has taken off and everything else has also gotten better. So it's like, truly, like, seriously fucking sensational, man. Like, at some point, and it wasn't that move you're talking about wasn't against a bad defender. It was against Asar Thompson. For anybody who doesn't know or hasn't watched any games, like why would you be watching Pistons games? But
no, they were America's team. Don't forget.
Oh, I didn't know that. But why would you be watching them in 2024?
During during 2024, yeah. During the losing streak, Pistons games, Lou, appointment television. But man, Asar Thompson is really he's really that guy defensively. He's like top percentile, like perimeter defender. And it was a point in the game where Duncan hit a corner 3 off an inbound and they flashed to Asar and he just looked down like, I have nothing for this guy. Because with his on-ball defense is so good, but Duncan isn't an on-ball player. He can be now, which is great. But like his off-ball movement is so good. He had him. He only sees Jaylen Brown. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. Duncan's fucking sensational. At some point, the Heat are going to have to talk to him about an extension. And I would go as far as to say that besides Jimmy and Bam, Duncan is the Heat's most valuable player, not just on the team, in terms of trade talks as well at this fucking point. I mean, I think he's critical to what they do. He's third in net rating, being on the floor. It's post All-Star break. He's second or first. I'll pull up the number right now. In just raw plus minus being on the court for them, which is just, again, the fact that we're talking about a guy like that's having that kind of impact. Post All-Star break, the Heat are plus 53 with him on the court. They are plus 39 with Jimmy Butler. And he's second. That's second place.
Damn.
Post All-Star break. You know what I mean? And for a guy like him, Lou, we're gonna have very uncomfortable conversations because he needs to start.
I was gonna say we might as well get into it. G. There is no feasible world where somebody with common sense sees, and I hate that it's Tyler because he's always in the limelight, and people think Heat fans hate him. It's just Duncan is this good. Like, if Tyler comes back, in all honesty and I'm not saying he needs to go to the bench, but it's either him or Rozier. We can't keep doing this, man. There's no way Duncan should not be starting. And again, this is no disrespect to Tyler. Terry played good today too. He's gotten a little better. He's getting a little more comfortable. But like, you don't bench your third best player. This isn't Manu Ginobili. This isn't the Spurs that they were so damn gifted offensively where they can afford to bench Ginobili. Like, this isn't that. Like, he's like the little bit of juice that we have on offense at the bottom of the juice box. That's Duncan Robinson. It's like, we need to get every little ounce of juice for this offense. Our offense is that juice box, and Duncan is the only juice left in that.
Brother, he's the toothpaste at the end of its life cycle.
Oh man, it's just, we got to squeeze what we can.
You're fucking getting anything you can and fucking pressing down on it and sliding that. Getting what you can. And by the way, if you're talking about extending Duncan, I think at some point too, I mean, you got to have some respect for him too. You cannot look that man in the face, give him an extension, and tell him to come off the bench again.
Yeah, a lot of shits I play. We just saw Kelly Olynyk get $26 million for 2 years. Duncan's not going for $26 million for 2 years, guys. Like, I don't know.
Duncan's on $19 million.
He's gonna ask for. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna need a 10% pay raise, minimum.
I'd give it.
Shit.
He's improved every year.
For sure. If he was worth 18 back then, 19 back then, oh yeah.
I shouldn't say that he's improved every year. He's tried to add skills to his game every year.
Absolutely. This is the first year Strus isn't on the team, so he doesn't have like that. Like the leash is finally long again.
And that shit needs out.
Yeah, you know that leash needs to be. He should be free roaming. We shouldn't even have that motherfucker on the leash. That's how good he's been.
I wonder if Duncan's a more desirable player to have than Hero.
In terms of?
Like to trade. Like if you're going to move one of those guys who's...
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the team.
That's what I said. I think he's the third best player, not just in plays, but like in terms of like trade value, besides Jimmy and Bam, I think him and Hawkins probably have the highest trade value. But he's no longer like he's the nicest filler in a trade in terms of salary any team could ask for.
Well, because you can, and I talked about this yesterday with Wes Goldberg. You know, let's use a like a hypothetical team, like I don't know, the Portland Trailblazers, right? Let's say for some reason the Blazers had something to trade Miami and they got Duncan Robinson, you know, in a deal. If you're a contender at the trade deadline, what are you willing to give for a guy who's this level of playmaker and this elite a shooter? I'm just saying, bro.
It's definitely a conversation to be had. We saw OG get moved for two young guys who was like equivalent to like 1 or 2, maybe 3 first-round picks. I don't think Duncan is OG caliber player, but let's say OG goes for 2/3 first-round picks. Duncan's going for at least 1 to 2. One is probably one is me like really like 1 and a decent player back, but definitely 2.
Bronx Joker says they still might view him as a system player. I don't think so anymore. I think the ball skill is too apparent. One thing was a handoff, House of Mirrors nonsense, but now this is like you saw the clip.
He's doing everything, man.
He did the Michael Jordan move on Starks, except with a layup, not a dunk.
Yeah, like he's not there. And it was a reverse with the right hand under the like coming right to left on the rim, so it wasn't like he extended. It was like it's just a little harder.
Thank you so much. She says, can we talk about Nico? Totally forgot that he got ejected on 305 day. My GOAT. One of us, baby.
Heat lifer.
One of us. Uno de nosotros, brother.
Untouchable.
Lou.
Not like he should have been touched before. Pause.
Ooh. He probably shouldn't have been ejected. It was funny that he was ejected. That's a second suspension / ejection in the last week.
My GOAT. I love that he wears the heart on his sleeve, but he plays like he cares. That's sometimes all you can ask. And he was playing really good. Like he was playing really, really good. The 3-pointer is falling recently. It's been falling all year, but like he's starting to get a little bit more respected out there. They closed out hard on him. He took it to the paint and drew a foul. The playmaking stuff is there. He's active defensively. Obviously, he's not a world stopper, but what he gives you size and just pushing and like he gives them, I don't want to say a solution, but he gives them like another chess piece Spoelstra can utilize in the playoffs. Because I don't think the 4 situation is clear cut, like he's going to be playing or whatever you might want to say. But like now it's like a 4 by rotation almost, and it just feels so nice. Like it's either him or Caleb. Highsmith has been giving him good minutes. You know, just Hawkeye sometimes plays like it's just like the 4 is no longer an issue.
I wonder if they can even play him at the 3. They would need a 4, but I just think that there's an interesting because like he could have like a little bit of size, and I just think that keeping him as far away from pick and roll defense is probably your best. Like
maybe he can play the 3, not with this current roster construction.
Not with this current roster, but if they have different guys. I think he pushed, like Chad says, I like how he pushes pace for the starters. The starting lineup actually hasn't been very good with Jovic in it. So Bam, Jimmy, Duncan, Rozier, and Jovic. I'll pull up the numbers right now because I know that they're not very good. They have played 34 minutes and they're minus 15 net rating.
I love it.
Their defense is 122 net rating.
Can we take off the Denver game? Because we got mollywopped that game by their starters.
I can't, but
yeah. Numbers probably changed a little bit, but they're still negative. It's
Rozier and Jovic alone, they're minus 8 per 100 possessions. Defense with about 120 defensive rating. Jovic without Rozier plus 11. Rozier without Jovic minus 3. I mean, Alpha and I talked about this today that we feel like Rozier is a problem in those lineups. They're better with him off. They're minus with Rozier on the floor. They're minus 3.5. I do think that he's getting in a little bit of a rhythm. I talked about this with Wes yesterday. I don't know, man. He has one good game and then like one game. I don't really know. I'm not super feeling it so far. Hopefully you got to find his rhythm, but certainly like the on-court metrics they're not showing that he's helping.
Yeah. Again, I don't disagree. I think he's had a rough start, but I think recently, I want to say like 3 out of the last 4 games, he's been a little bit better. He's been very intentional with getting the like Bam and Jimmy involved as well. It's just a matter, honestly, I think sometimes it's just the shot falling. Today, the shot was falling. And the biggest takeaway, the biggest compliment I can give Terry Rozier is he hasn't been noticeable defensively. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like he hasn't been getting picked on as much as, honestly, as much as I was anticipating him to get picked on. He's done a decent job there.
The playoffs will be different.
The playoffs will probably be different, but it's just nice to see that he can survive is the way I'll put it.
Carliana's asking you, why is he taking most of the shots?
Who? Terry?
Yeah.
Today, specifically? I mean, that's what...
Bam having 17 field goal attempts is kind of crazy considering how much he missed. But Rozier as well. I mean, Rozier just felt a little bit chucky today.
Gee, but that's what we brought him here to score. There's no way he can score without shooting. You get what I'm saying? This isn't like we need to stop comparing. Jesus, my English sucks. Comparison. We need to stop comparing him to Lowry. Yeah, but we need to stop comparing him to Lowry just in general because like they're completely different players. Like they're not even in the same ballpark of what they do or what they were asked or what they're going to be asked to do or what they were asked to do for this team. Like Rozier is here because we needed somebody who can score and shoot the ball and space out. He did that today. Was he the most efficient? Probably not. 7 for 7. I wish he would finish around the rim just a little bit better sometimes. That's kind of my biggest thing. But his playmaking has been pretty good, I would say. I think that's been pleasantly surprising, just that he's been able to keep it up at this level. And the three-point shooting has been rough, but today he shot the ball well from 3, and it kind of made a little bit of a difference in that third quarter.
It did, but Miami escapes with a win today, 118-110 against Detroit. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to have Alex on from 5 on the Floor and 5 Reasons to talk about all the daily things that happened today. We just didn't feel like it was fair to have a post-game show and like all that news that came out today. So we were supposed to be off tomorrow. I'm going to do a little afternoon hit with Alex for about 30 minutes to give you guys kind of a little digest of that news after we have a day to sit on it. I believe that Bryant also said that Drew Smith officially been cut? I guess Ira did report that. Bryant had it first, so
I think he was waived. Yes,
he was waived. So yeah, I'll have more information on that and kind of the cap machinations and all that stuff, and then we'll kind of get Alex's takes and kind of talk a little bit of basketball with him too. But I appreciate y'all rocking with us here on this beautiful Tuesday, March 5th. Listen, Heat are, what are they, half a game out of 4th place? New York has slipped to 6th. Boston loses. This is a great day in the association. See you tomorrow.
The best day.